Welcome to another daily update, and I want to start by apologizing for there not being a daily update yesterday. Got to working late, and it just got too late to put out an update, so I really apologize. That's going to happen every now and then, but I'm going to try my best to have an update for you guys every day. But anyways, let's go ahead and get today's update, starting with the Samurai project, and then at the end, we'll take a look at the Gremlin. And I want to start with the Samurai project because it's pretty much done. It's pretty close to done. So let's go ahead and get the body off, and I can show you what Frank has got done on this project here, starting with there being two drive shafts. So he shortened up a drive shaft and got another drive shaft up front. So now we have both front and back drive shafts good to go. He also started putting in and got in a lot of the electronics like the servo. So we got our servo in that's hooked up, ready to go. And then our ESC is in and ready to go. Now there are three items three items still left on the checklist that we need to get done. One of which is put terminals on our battery wires. Not sure what battery we're using yet. I'm not sure what terminals to use, but most likely it's going to be a Dean's connector, I would guess. But still need to do that. Also, on this side, we have a receiver that's going to be going in. But as we speak right now, over on the 3D printer in the workshop, I actually have a receiver box that's printing out for this. It's going to mount right over here. So we'll have that receiver in. And then the other thing that we need to get done, and somebody actually, I think there was a comment Monday or Tuesday when we looked at this about doing some kind of graphics on the sides. And I forgot to mention that there is going to be a graphic going on this that's going to match the Suzuki that this build is being modeled after. So this build, I think I've said this before, but I'll remind you, this build is being built to resemble the customer's father's Suzuki from way back when he was a kid. So when the customer was a kid, his dad had a Suzuki Samurai, and that's what we're modeling this after, which it was silver and it had some graphics on it. And I'm gonna do that. Frank's gonna sit out on that, and I'm gonna paint up the graphics on this also. So we have those three items left to get done on this, but for the most part, as soon as that receiver box is finished printing and I got mounted in, this is a running truck. So we're going to get this out on the trail and look for that coming up in the RC shop, which most likely is actually going to end up being pushed to next week. I know you guys were hoping for it this week, probably going to get pushed to next week just so I can make sure and get it done right. I'd rather get it done right than just rush it out. But anyways, this final build and hopefully this out on the trail will be in that episode. So make sure and check that out. Now, let's take a look at the Grinch build. To get everybody caught up who's new to the series, just get you caught up real quick. This is a Gremlin body. We're calling it the Grinch build because it's going to be green and it resembles a Grinch, or the Grinch. But it's a toy-grade Gremlin body that's going on an SCX-102 chassis. Basically, we've moved the fender cutouts. We've spread them apart to fit the SCX-102 chassis. We've hinged the hood, along with putting the cowl induction to give hood clearance for a 3D printed engine that's going in it. And then what we're working on now is hinging the doors. So we've cut out the doors, we've put in hinges, and now we're working on the door jams and door seal. So before, we've already got the door seal and the back jam in, and now we've got a front jam in. And if you guys remember when we talked last on Tuesday, the issue I was having is this front jam is also going to interact with a kick panel and a dash. And thanks to Tommy Martin, who sent over some files for me, I was able to actually print out a dash for the car. This is the dash he used in his Gremlin build that he did. So I was able to print this out and try to use it. Now the problem is, this dash, nothing wrong with the file Tommy Martin sent. This dash isn't going to work for our build specifically, basically because we have hood hinges here that are in the way of the dash pad. So what I did is I went ahead and just printed out another dash portion, or at least the cluster glove box portion of the dash, because that's going to work fine. And I'm just using some styrene to make a template for a dash pad. So now what you can see is I was able to put the arc of the windshield into this template, and then I was able to notch for our hinges. And now, let me see if I can do this one-handed real quick. This dash pad will fit up in here for us. Give me just a second to get this to fit in. There we go. And now we can see how the dash pad interacts with that front jam. So I still have to build out the side of the dash, but now I'm going to know how all that interacts. And basically, I'm going to need a notch. I'm going to need a notch up top here in the dash pad, or in the side of the dash also for the hinge. And then this is also going to let me know how the kick panel is going to fit in, which of course that kick panel is going to interact with the floor pan. So basically what I'm saying is everything is step by step. I think a lot of times people see these complicated styrene builds in their finished state, and if you look at it all finished, it looks very complicated. But what you want to do is break it down into step by step, piece by piece. So we put in a door sill, which gave us where we needed to get our back jam in. Then we make a dash with a dash pad, so we know how we need to do our front jam and how that interacts with a kick panel that then is going to interact with the floor pan. So the point being is, if you try to build this in one step, the final step, just put it all in, well, that's not going to happen. You got to go step by step on these custom builds, and don't let it intimidate you. Just take it step by step. Anyway, so our Gremlin build, I think, is coming along pretty well. The doors fit even better now. They sit a little sturdier with that front jam in, which is pretty nice. They still are going to sag a little bit when they open, but I think it's going to help hold it up a little bit. I'll still add in some rubber grommets to really make that fit well. Let me see if I can get this door back in. Give me just a second here. Get the door back in for you so you can see how it looks. But we can see it seriously, there we go. All right, now we've got it. Now we've got it in, and you can see it sits pretty flush. I think fits really well. Pretty good gaps, and looks pretty good. So we're making pretty good progress, I think, on the Gremlin build. Thank you everybody that left comments for interior color. I really do appreciate that. I had some people agreed with me to do some shade of a leather, but then I had a couple comments about doing the plaid cloth interior. That 70s style plaid cloth interior that a lot of these older vehicles came with. And I think that's just brilliant. I think that's genius. I think that's what we're going to go with. Not sure what color plaid yet. I think I'm going to look at some old AMC Gremlins and see what colors they came with. But I think what I am going to do is try to find actual fabric, actual cloth to use in the interior. So to make it an actual cloth interior, I think that would look really, really killer and really scale. And I think you see a lot of leather interiors, and that was my first thought too, is just go leather. But I think the plaid cloth that's going to be where it's at. That's going to really set it off. So I appreciate it. Thank you for that advice. That's what we're going to go with. That's why I love these daily updates, is I get such great comments down in the comment section. And speaking of, let me know what you guys think that have just watched this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. You got any things you'd like to see or any ideas for the Gremlin build, the Suzuki build, the Velociraptor build? I'm still working on that in the background. We'll get an update on that. Should tomorrow, I hope. Also working on the TRX4. Hopefully get an update on that tomorrow also. But let me know down if you have any ideas down in the comment section. Hit the like button. It really does help out in the algorithms. I really do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to keep up with all these builds. Appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.